Hello, everybody.
Howdy. What a surprise.
Wow. First, I want to thank Jordan Maxwell so much for taking the time and Skyping with us. And I had my camera and recorded it. And so that's why, you'll see my computer screen sometimes doing weird things, and it's not the clearest because I wasn't going to trust something this important to my screen recorder, program. To me, this was very important. But thank you, Jordan, so much.
Thank you.
And we consider you a friend now.
When you guys watch the video, just understand this was, a fairly long Skype, and we wanted to focus on some of the things about Watchtower and some of the things about religion, some of the things you may have already heard. But there was also a lot of other private things said that we're just going to cut out of this particular video. So I hope you can understand that. But it was definitely an honor and a privilege talking to this man and having so much in common, having connected dots that he connected a long time ago that we're connecting now. So it was really a thrill Skyping with him, and we hope that the rest of you will enjoy what we've been able to put up on our channel.
Yeah, and like Mike said, there was a lot of stuff that was edited out because
well, it's just private. It's just private stuff.
Plus, we were just talking and having a good time.
Yeah.
Who wants to hear about family stuff, right? So we'd go off on a tangent talking about something else. So we just edited all that. Otherwise, it was like 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So you guys don't want to sit through and listen to all of this. So we just edit it to the pertinent information. But I mean, this man is, so intelligent.
To pick his brain, oh my goodness.
He has done so much research. It is just incredible. So,
and let's just kind of end something right here for the naysayers. Keep in mind that when you go and drag a link to destroy a man's credibility, even XJWs have done that to Kim and I. So just kind of keep that in mind, because when you're dealing with things that we've been all dealing with, there are always going to be the naysayers to do and say anything to destroy credibility, to destroy reputation. And it's just, well, it's the game. It's the game that's being played.
exactly.
It's the game. That's what happens when you choose to do what we are doing.
Yeah, and even, nobody's like us. People, try to discredit and destroy us.
Right.
So, if it's happening in the SJW community, imagine what it's doing on the world scene. So, like I said, or like Mike said, we just enjoy talking to him, and we don't care what anybody says.
Yes.
So, those conspiracy theory nutters. It's like, no, if you really get in and dig and do your research.
Agenda analysts.
Yeah. We're agenda analysts, and
Yep.
so is Jordan Maxwell.
Exactly.
Or what did he call it? Conspiracy analyst or something like that?
Conspiracy analyst.
So we hope you guys enjoy this video as much as we enjoyed talking to him.
And just to kind of let everybody know, he's made himself further available to us, so we have that option still open to us, maybe even doing a live stream at some point.
Yes, and if anyone in the XJW community would like to have him come to a conference and give some of this information, he will be more than happy to do that. And just a very nice man. And so anyway, we hope you guys enjoy.
Bye.
Bye. We would like to introduce Jordan Maxwell. Thank you, Jordan, so much for joining us on our channel here. And I talked to you on the phone the other day, and you mentioned to me that you would like to expose Watchtower.
Yes, and I want to thank you for inviting me.
No.
I have watched the Watchtower Society do things which are unconscionable. It was very, very heartbreaking to see people's families broken up and the kind of totalitarian fascist routine that they have with their accounting department and things going on behind the back. And I could sit and talk for hours on my personal experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And I've sat with the governing body. I've sat in New York with the governing body in their office, and they asked me if I would like to come and be a part of their research department. And I was thinking at that time that would be a great idea, be a part of the research. But I kept thinking there's something about this organization that's not right. And if I get into the research department and find out it's not right, I'm going to be in serious trouble. I better just stay out here in the public and find out what I need to find out before I go joining with this group.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a very smart deal. It was a very smart idea because, boy, the stuff I have found out is just incredible.
Yeah. Well, I believe that Barbara Anderson was in the research department doing research for the Proclaimers book when she got into the wrong file and found the problem with the child abuse inside of Watchtower.
Well, I've talked with a lot of the young men, the very young ones who went to Bethel.
Uh-huh.
And what was it? One of the members of the governing body was named Greenlease.
Yes.
Yep.
And he had to be released. He was kicked out of the society
Yeah.
for messing around with the boys.
Yep.
And but he's not the only one. And but let me think of some of the things because I've had so many experiences with them. I've been looking through all of my documents to show you a few things.
Good.
I got a whole mess of stuff here.
Oh,
Good.
good.
I mean, you were talking about documents. I've been collecting documents on Jehovah's Witnesses for a long time. I got some really incredible stuff.
Good. Glad to hear that.
Yeah. I'll send you copies of it, too.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
We'll put it in the beast.
This one I found at UCLA, and I got a bunch of them. I got a whole bunch of these documents. It's,
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes.
and it shows all of the secret societies operating behind the World Masonic Order, all the different cults and the different scientists and all the different people that are working behind the world scene for the World Masonic Order.
Wow. And that comes from UCLA.
Yeah, and then on side 2, it's showing you more and more of these secret societies and how they're connected and who's doing what and who owns what and who's controlling what. And then on the bottom, you will see
International Bible Students, Russellites.
Wow.
Yep, right there.
Black and white.
that's it. It's in black and white.
Huh.
And there's a British Israel.
I see that, yep.
British Israel. And the Russellites. And that's on the political occult Judeo-Masonic chart.
What, do you know what year they started putting that document together?
It was done back in, it was originally, it gives you a little understanding of where the document came from over here.
Oh, okay. All right, good.
And it says that in 1940 in Rome, at the beginning of World War II, the Baron Alcletti, widower of the former Italian ambassador to Japan from Italy. The ambassador to Japan from Italy, his wife drew this up based on her husband's documents that she got from him
Wow.
from Italy.
Yeah. Rome.
Rome.
Rome. Yes.
And so her husband was the ambassador to Japan during the Second World War.
Interesting.
And so he had access to all of Rome's important paperwork as the ambassador. And she wrote this out. She drew this up. And I met the man who had the original.
Interesting.
And I took it over to a publishing house that a friend of mine, and had him photocopy it big and reproduce it. And we found it first over at UCLA, and then I photocopied it and took it to a publisher and had him reproduce it. And but it tells you about her and her husband and who he was, and how she got these documents from him, and she put it together while he's out taking care of business for Rome over in Japan. She's taking care of business at home. And it's brilliant stuff. I mean, she explains all the people involved, from the Rothschilds, Ginsburgs, Theodore Herzl, Chaim Weizmann, Louis Brandeis, Albert Einstein, Jacob Schiff, Paul Warburg, Felix, Max Warburg, all, and then she tells you who they're connected to and what secret societies they're in.
Yeah.
And how it all comes together.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah. So I can send you a couple of copies of this if you want.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, put this up on your wall.
Well, Jordan, when Kim and I first started doing this activism against Watchtower, because we were Jehovah's Witnesses for 42 years of my life, and you pretty much born in it. And when we started waking up, like most ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, we do a tremendous amount of research, finding out, what's behind the name Jehovah and the organization and everything else. Well, through all of that, we got connected with an ex-Jehovah's Witness that had been gathering information for 25 years. And he sent Kim and I that entire hard copy of research that he had been doing for 25 years. And I don't think that that's in it.
I
And
haven't
that's
seen
going to
that
make
one.
a nice addition to what we call the beast.
Yeah, I know. Well, this is just one. I got more back here.
Good.
I got a lot of stuff.
I will email you our mailing address.
Yes. This is what I'm talking about.
Wow.
My goodness.
I've got tons of all kinds of photocopies of documents from all over the world showing the connections with the secret societies of Freemasonry. There's another book I have. It's called by Lady Queensborough.
Oh, Jordan.
That's it.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah.
That's the way I found that, and I took it over to a publisher and had him publish it, and I made another connection with another distribution house, and they're selling it too.
Yeah.
But did you read that article in the very back about Charles Tess Russell
Yes. And Rutherford.
Yeah.
and Rutherford both? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Would you like?
Well, it's a really dark and deep story, boy. When you get into the secret societies,
Well, see, what it really all comes down to is people control, isn't it? How do you control a global family of people if you don't do something
this is
like
how you
this?
do it. This is how you do it.
Yeah, all of these little control groups, and that's what it really boils down to. And it's really, and the money. And it's
And the
really,
money.
yeah, And it's really so hard to get some ex-Jehovah's Witnesses to realize that it's all about people control. So, you know, if you've got somebody who was a Baptist and quits being a Baptist because they have this indoctrination, they'll go find another church. And then they'll stay with that for a while. Oh, wait a minute, this isn't as fulfilling as I thought it was going to be. And then they find another church, or then they find another organization. And it's really about people control.
And they control it all.
Yeah.
The Masonic, Jewish Masonic Freemasonry. And the symbols in Jewish Freemasonry, if you go back to the Masonic order and go through their symbols, you will see the cross and the crown is the Masonic symbol for the Knights Templars and the Knights Hospitallers. And Charles Taze Russell was in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love. Not because people think because it means everybody in Philadelphia loves each other. No, brotherly love. Brotherly in the Masonic order, the brothers of the Masonic order.
Yeah.
The city of brotherly love is all the Masonic orders behind Christianity, Judaism, Islam, all the secret societies, banking orders. It's all one big family of brotherly love.
Yeah.
And they all work together.
Let me ask you a question right here, if you don't mind. Do you think that it would be possible for an ex-Jehovah Witness to call a Masonic lodge in Pennsylvania and ask if they could get, you know, somebody's name off of a list?
Russell's name?
Russell's name. Do you think that any, you know, lodge in Pennsylvania would give up that name?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I don't think so either.
Because especially Russell's name.
Yeah.
They already know there's talk around town that there's a lot of people called Jehovah's Witnesses who are doing research on Charles Taze Russell. And the Masonic order knows that.
Right.
And the more they give out about him, the more they're going to give out about themselves.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to even acknowledge they even knew him. But it's very hard not to, because I got photographs. I went out to his pyramid where he was buried. I went out there, got pictures of the pyramids right across the street from the Masonic Lodge.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we've seen all that.
And then a week or two ago, I read a quote from the Watchtower magazine about his funeral, and he had a flower arrangement done in the broken pillar. Now, the broken pillar means one of their fallen princes.
Yeah, and also he had himself wrapped in a toga the night he was died.
Yep.
At the what is it, district assembly, I think it was, a district convention. They had 3 different members of the governing body were there to give lectures. And after the conference was over one evening, some of the brothers decided they were going to take the governing body out for a big dinner at a big fancy steakhouse. And so they asked me to go too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I went with them. I played dumb, like I don't know what's going on. I'm just happy to be with them. I want to hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
This is the governing body.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so we go across the street to this big, beautiful restaurant where they're having dinner, and there were 3 members of the governing body, Brother Genghis, and the other one I just mentioned.
Sedlick?
Yeah.
Who?
Sedlick?
Sedlick.
Yeah.
Sedlick, Genghis, and I think Fred Franz's cousin or brother or something.
Freddie Franz.
Fred Franz.
Nephew. That's
Raymond
Freddie.
Franz?
Oh, excuse me, Raymond. Yeah, Raymond Franz.
Raymond Franz.
Yeah, Raymond.
And so we were there in the restaurant talking, the big group of the men all sitting around talking, and everybody's trying to play up to the governing body.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, I waited till the conversation quieted down, and then I said, there happened to be a Greek young man there with the governing body, and they introduced him as the accountant for the Watchtower and Bible Tract Society, the chief accountant.
Uh-huh.
This young man was very, very bright, a young Greek guy, but he was very good with numbers. And so I asked him in front of the governing body, I said, I have a question, if I may be able to ask it of you, to this young man. He said, sure. And I said, the Watchtower Society publishes the yearbooks. And in last year's yearbook, they said that the Watchtower Society spent over $60 million to buy property and set up printing presses around the world, to buy property, build buildings, and put together a printing establishment. 60 million. And I said, that does not include their normal operations around the world. That's just to buy property. That's what it said. And he said, yes, that's true. And I said, my question is, I live in a very affluent area of Los Angeles, Woodland Hills. This was known for its money. A lot of movie stars and big shots live here in the Woodland Hills. And we can't even keep our rent paid. And they're always telling us that utilities are going to be shut off because we can't keep the utilities on, because we can't make enough money to pay the rent and the utilities. And we are the best that Los Angeles has to offer. The rest of Los Angeles is working class, poor people, just working class people, and they're just living from day to day. We have the most affluent area right here. We can't even pay our rent. So my question is, where is the society getting the money to buy $60 million worth of property and printing presses? And he looked at me kind of sheepishly, and because I put him on the spot in front of the governing body, and I did it purposely. And he said to me, he said, well, we have 2 corporate open-end bank accounts. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, there are 2 corporate-end bank accounts. And he said, one is from J.P. Morgan Trust. Morgan Trust of Philadelphia. And Rockefeller Bank of New York. Chase Manhattan. This was a long time ago when there was Chase Manhattan in New York. And I said, what is an open-end corporate account? He said, basically, once a year, the 2 banking chains give us a large bank of checks. And whatever we write on that check is covered, period. No matter what it is covered. So we can buy anything we want anywhere in the world, and it's covered. And I said, are you able to pay that back by the end of the year, the 60 million? And he said, no, we have arrangements with them. And I thought to myself, I'll bet you do.
I'll bet you do, yes.
And so
the family.
We have an arrangement with those banks. And I thought then, that's pretty damn crazy. You're talking about all the evil bankers in the world, and all those evil international people who are trying to overthrow the world. The Rockefellers and J.P. Morgan was a cousin to the Rothschilds. That's who J.P. Morgan was. He was a Rothschild family. And he came over to America with Rothschild's money and set up the banking industry in America with the Rockefellers. And so that told me all I needed to know are the people who were financing the Watchtower Society.
Wow. So
that's where they're getting the money. And so I know that there's something's wrong because the Watchtower Society actually bought a whole section of the New York docks. And they bought it. They owned it.
I remember that.
Even the mafia can't own the docks, but Watchtower can. Why? Because it's connected directly to Jewish Masonic Freemasonry. and they run America. Period.
So, like, we know Jared Kushner bought several of Watchtower's buildings here a few years ago. Him and his company.
Oh, no, I didn't know that because I've gotten away from the Watchtower stuff for so long.
Yeah, yeah.
I go back to the old days, back to 1960,
Yeah.
59, 60, when I was in New York and went there with my wife, and we went through all Bethel. But what's really wild is talking about the Watchtower Society is a lot of stuff we could talk about. But what is really interesting to me is when you get into the religion of Christianity to start with, and find out the connections between Christianity and its teachings, the biblical teachings, and what's in the Bible, and Jewish Freemasonry. Because the Bible, the King James, is referred to as the authorized version.
Yeah.
Which is translated to mean the king authorized you to read this. He didn't authorize you to go sticking your nose where it doesn't belong.
Yeah.
You just read what he authorized. If you want to do some other research stuff and start finding out things you're not supposed to know, then they're going to find you dead in a trash can somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
With 3 bullet holes in the back of your head, and you committed suicide.
Yes.
Yeah. Go figure.